be using 84-0 to help us build an undefeated team at NHL 26. If you haven't heard of 84-0, it's probably going to be the most addicting game of the summer, and essentially the premise of this game is trying to build the most stacked team as possible. So basically how this works is you spin the wheel, it'll give you a random team in a random era, and you basically have to select a player from that era that played on that team. So right here, for example, we have the Devils in the 70s. We have to pick a player who played for the Devils in the 70s. Now this website here, Puck Perfection, lets you build an entire team, and by using this wheel, we have to build the best possible team. And what we're going to do is we're going to put this team into NHL 26. We'll see if we do better in the simulation or on NHL 26. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's spin the wheel for the first time. Let's get our first player here. So the Calgary Flames in the 2010s. Right away, you're thinking of Ginla. You're thinking, you know, you got Dougie Hamilton there, Johnny Gaudreau. Basically, this goes off of stats, so you're kind of looking for the best point total here, which we might have to go with Johnny Hockey, rest in peace. Our very first player is going to be Johnny Gaudreau. We'll put him at the third line left wing. I wonder if we can change that. Like, if we can change that later on. So, Pittsburgh in the 70s. I don't know too much about the 70s era, so we might just have to go off of stats here. So, in that case, it's going to be John Pronovost. Excuse me if I mispronounce that. We're going to put him at the third line right wing. I'm just optimistic. I know we're probably going to get better players, so that's why I'm going to put him so low. Here we got the Flyers in the 2000s. Chris Pronger might be a good shout there. Danny Briere, also a great player. Would like to get a defenseman on the team. Let's start with Chris Pronger. So Nashville in the 2020s, you're kind of thinking Roman Josi, UC Saros. Let's look at their stats. Philip Forsberg there has 94 points. I believe this goes off of their best season from that decade. I'm going to go with Roman Josi. We're going to put him we'll put him on the second pair of left defense. The Ducks in the 90s, you got a lot of good options there. I wonder, Teemu Selanne should probably be on this. Paul Kariya there, 108 points. Teemu Selanne, 109 points. We'll put him on the second line right wing. We don't have any first liners yet because, like I said, I'm optimistic on getting some good players. 2000s Red Wings, we got Zetterberg. We'll probably see Datsuk on here. Lidstrom with 80 points. There's Datsuk there with 97 points. I'm stuck here between Datsuk or Lidstrom. Datsuk, one of my favorite players of all time. I'm going to go with him here. We'll put him on the second line center. And there you go, Edmonton 2020s. I mean, there's nobody else you got to take. Connor McDavid, he's going to be our first line center. We didn't really get a good role here. Winnipeg in the 90s, we probably could have gone with Selanne as well. In terms of point totals, it's probably going to be Ray Ferraro. We'll put him on the fourth line center. The 2020 Stars. You know, there's a couple of good options. Obviously, Jason Robertson there with nearly 50 goals, 109 points. Could go Ottinger as well, but honestly, I'm going to save the goalie for now. We'll put Robertson on our second line. 2010's Nathan McKinnon didn't even break 100 points yet, but we're still going to put him at our final center spot. So we're already done with the centers here. 70s Blackhawks, I'm going to solidify our first goalie here. We'll go with Tony Esposito at our number 2 slot. Technically, if you're unsatisfied, I will say this. You do have one reroll. You could either reroll the team or reroll the era. So I'm actually going to reroll the team here. I'm not seeing anything too crazy. You get the New York Islanders in 2020. See, you could go with somebody like Devon Taves, but unfortunately, he wasn't as good with the Islanders as he was now with the Avs. We'll go with Noah Dobson. We'll put him at the second right defensive slot. 2000s Ottawa Senators. I wonder, can we get Danny Heatley? Yeah, there he is. 50-07, Danny Heatley. We're going to put him on our fourth line. Dominic Hasek wouldn't be a bad shout either, but we got a lot of roles that we can still get goalies on. 2020's Minnesota. We do have that first line left wing slot open. I'm thinking maybe we go with Kaprizov here. Let's look at his point totals. Yeah, of course, 108, right? He's going to go on our first line. Montreal in the 70s, I'm thinking right off the bat here, either Guy Lafleur or Ken Dryden. I mean, 136 points for Guy Lafleur. That's probably the best point total we've seen so far. So let's put him on our first line right wing. So now we have the fourth line left, and we have to get 3 more defensemen, obviously 1 more goalie. You know what? I'm not seeing anything crazy from Carolina here, so I will actually re-roll the team. So we get Utah in the 2010s, which would obviously be the Coyotes. Probably not the best reroll to get there. I think I'm going to go with the Sonk. Keith Yandel on our third line of third pair defense. Kings in the 90s. So obviously if we didn't have our center slot used up already, we could have went with Gretzky. Luke Robitaille there. We already used all of our left wingers. 125 points. And yeah, Wayne Gretzky, 163 points. That's a bad beat, but we're kind of between Yari Curry right now with 87 points or Ziggy Palffy with 89 points. I'm going to go with the Ziggy Palffy for our fourth line. Now we need 2 more defensemen and 1 more goalie. We get the 70s Buffalo Sabres. Really seeing anything I like here, but unfortunately we cannot re-roll. I'm going to go with Jerry Korab here, 56 points as our first line right defenseman. The Sharks in the 2010s, we can go with Brent Burns here. I guess not, actually. We need to go for a left defenseman or a goalie. I kind of want to solidify our goalie here, so I think I'm going to go for that. I'm a little stuck between Antti Niemi and Martin Jones. I'm just going to go with Martin Jones only because he has a higher win total. Obviously, he's got a lot more games played. And finally, last but not least, a Bruins 90s defenseman. So that leaves us here with Ray Bourque, an awesome last choice here. 94 points, Ray Bourque. So here it is, our final team, and it shows you our projected record. I'm pretty sure that beats the all-time win record. And we get an A grade there. So yeah, here is our team, our defense, and our goalies. I'm going to put the link down below to this game. So if you guys want to try this game out, see if you guys can beat my record here of 68 wins on your first try. But without further ado, let's put this team into NHL 26. Let's see if we can beat the projected 68 win total. Let's do it. All right, so here we are on NHL 26 now. I incorporated the same lines just how we had them in the 84-0 game. With our team, the Peg City subscribers, our goal is to beat our record of 68, 11, and 5 and 84-0. I'm using a custom league in this franchise mode simulation, so we do have an 84-game season. And without further ado, let's start simulating. Can we beat our record? Start off the season 0-2, surprisingly, so safe to say we're not going to go 84-0. So here we are, simulated to the end of the season, and we did go off on a winning streak here to end the season. We do end shorter than we had in the 84-0 game, 62-19. With 3 overtime losses, but we do take home the President's Trophy, 127 points. Our top point scorers for this team is going to be the late, great Johnny Gaudreau and Guy Lafleur, tied with 95 points each. Johnny Hockey going for 64 goals in this simulation. Connor McDavid just over point per game. He's fallen significantly in the simulation. Same here with Nathan McKinnon. Not even point per game. That might be the first time in his career he's done that. First time since his first couple seasons in the NHL. And Kaprizov here. We're in number 5, by the way. Not the type of season you expect from him either, especially at a 94 overall. Teemu Selanne, the goal scorer that he is, only 11 goals in this simulation. Not sure what's happened here. I mean, 50-07 with only 5 goals. Just a lot of slow point production in this simulation. Tony Esposito, 53 wins here, 2.67 GAA, 913 save percentage. So without further ado here, let's simulate the Stanley Cup playoffs going into the postseason as the President's Trophy winners. First round here, we're taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets. Had the opportunity for the sweep there against the Blue Jackets. We look to get it done here in 5, and we do. Blue Jackets quickly taken care of. On to the second round here. Second round here against the Tampa Bay Lightning. I just realized I messed up here. I have the Maple Leafs in the Western Conference, the Pacific Division, I believe. Oh, I mean, they used to be in the Western Conference, so we take care of the Tampa Bay Lightning in 4 games. We're on now to the Eastern Conference Finals. We look to face either the Hurricanes or the Capitals. We face the Washington Capitals now in the Eastern Conference Finals, and we looked for the sweep there once again. They win Game 4 there to avoid the sweep. Can we get it done once again in 5? And we do. So it'll be the Peg City subscribers versus the Colorado Avalanche in the Stanley Cup Finals. First 3 games simulated here. We take the first 2 and we lose the third one in OT. Avs tie the series back up there. We take the lead, and here we are, a potential clinching game on June 1st on the road against Colorado. We'll jump into the simulation here. First period, we're tied at 1. Danny Heatley on the board. Sam Girard, shorthanded, gets one to give the Avs a lead. Jerry Korab ties the game here with a shorthanded goal. McKinnon gets it right back. There, McKinnon. Because we have McKinnon as well. He's on both teams here. Down by 1, looking for a goal. Last 10 minutes of game 6 here. And the Avalanche will close it out to force game number 7 in the Stanley Cup Finals. Here we are. We jump into the simulation. Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals between the Peg City Subscribers and the Colorado Avalanche. We are at home here. First period, they get on the board with Victor Olofsson. Second period, no goals there. We'll simulate the third period, see what happens. They double their lead thanks to Nichushkin. Devin Taves probably seals the deal here with the third goal. That's going to do it. The Colorado Avalanche will win the Stanley Cup in 7 games against the President's Trophy winning Peg City Subscribers. So we were certainly a long way away from 84-0. We lose in the Stanley Cup Finals. Check out our awards on the season here. Kucherov goes for his 3rd straight. Art Ross gets the Hart Trophy as well. The Norris goes to Victor Hedman. So the Tampa Bay Lightning are cleaning house here. Kucherov with the Lady Bing. Demidov gets the Calder. Makar there with the Conn Smythe. Sam Montembeault with the Vezina. Okay, interesting. Same thing with the Jennings. Ryan Graves with the Bill Masterton. And that's it. Yeah, so no trophies here. No individual trophies for the Peg City Subscribers. Obviously, we do finish off the season with the President's Trophy. That's going to do it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.